Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Bengal Magazine. And on today's show, we're going to start with women's soccer, and Nick DeMarsh joins us, the head coach of the Bengals. And after Nick, we're going to go outside and do a little running. Cross country joins us, and head coach Ray Shadowens. And Ray is bringing along his outstanding junior, Greg Avila-Shah, from Lewiston, the junior. And then Maria DePeters, women's volleyball, is with us. And coach is bringing along her outstanding setter, Alyssa Durski. We will have Joes versus Pros going inside with a little volleyball there. Of course, we'll have the Athlete of the Week, and Patrick Smith joins us with Bengal Update. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, women's soccer. Stay with us. Well, welcome back, everybody, and we're joined now by the effervescent Nick DeMarsh from, there you go, from women's soccer, and we're just kidding Nick off camera a little bit. And Nick, first time on the show, early in the season, give us a little preview of this year's team.
Well, this year's team is really interesting. We've got a ton of new players, a lot of young, fresh talent, a couple of veterans back, so it's been an adventure and a challenge, and I'm enjoying it.
You know, it's interesting when you come off the year that you had, this incredible season that the Bengals had, you winning the SUNY title, moving on to the NCAA tournament. I'm always curious, and maybe it's a good thing with all these new faces you had mentioned, but training camp, was there a hangover from that? Were the ladies ready to go, or were they maybe kind of leaning back on what happened last year? Or well, how did you read that?
I don't think there was any kind of a hangover. You know, the first thing we came in and told the girls is the past is for losers.
Oh.
Last year is done,
yep.
And this is a new team, and most of the team, believe it or not, most of the team is new. We have more new players than returners. And a lot of the returners are players that weren't regular starters last year. So we have a lot of returners who are back and have been waiting for their opportunity.
Okay.
Because we had such a strong team last year. Some of these girls have been on the team for 2 or 3 years and really not given as much on the field as they probably would have liked. So there's an interesting dynamic, you know, proving grounds for them, but also a large burden to bear for a lot of the freshmen who are coming in and putting in major minutes, sometimes playing 90 minutes a game.
And I'm going to make an assumption that the patience of the head coach is somewhat tested when we have new faces and returners who weren't starting or playing a lot last year?
Early, I was very patient, and I think after we've made the same mistakes more than once, I've lost a little patience and put more pressure on the players.
Okay.
And they've, to their credit, you know, the last 3 games we've played better and better, and they've responded. You know, one of the sayings that I like to give the girls is pressure makes diamonds. So, you know, if I ask you for a performance and I tell you to do better, then that's what I want to see. Or there's someone right behind you waiting to play.
Right, absolutely. You had mentioned one of the many freshmen, but there's one in particular that we're going to highlight on today's show, and it's a fabulous goal scored by Kendall Hetzel against Nazareth at Koller Field under the lights, and I'm sure the ladies have enjoyed that. But why don't we roll that, and you and I can take a look at it, and why don't you describe the play here as it unfolds?
Sure. Alexandra Bone just received the ball from, I believe, from our goalkeeper. Quick transition. We're trying to catch them out.
Things are working as they should right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
You know, can we catch them before they get their defensive shape set?
Gotcha.
We get across, a scramble. Paige works herself across the face of the goal to pick up the second ball, and then Kendall does the rest.
And boom.
You know, she's a threat. She's got an outstanding shot. I think you see her jogging away. She knows it's in when she shoots it.
Wow.
She's got great range. She's got great aggression, power. Most freshmen, when they get to college, it takes little time to get into games and to really feel comfortable,
right,
and to kind of accept the pace of the game and the pressure. Kendall's unique. She's one of those freshmen that is playing like a returner, really from her first moment.
How about that?
Yeah.
Is that as I looked at the goal? Is Kendall saying anything? You know, give me the ball, or like?
I wish he would.
Okay,
you know.
so it's kind of like
Sure.
unspoken words between teammates.
Well, you know, that she's a holding center midfielder, so her job is to arrive late for just such an occasion, right?
Oh, wow.
So when you break out and the first ball isn't on to score, you want to be able to play negative and play a supporting pass, and that's her job. So she's done her job. As far as her communication, I mean, Kendall's a freshman, and we look at her like she has unlimited potential. She's outstanding right now, immediately outstanding. But she still has so many little things, intangibles like communication, just like her positioning, when to shoot, when to be patient and play. She has a long way to grow, and I think if she reaches her potential, she'll be one of the best players in the league.
Oh my gosh, that's high praise. You open conference play Friday at home here, Geneseo at 3 o'clock. Great women's soccer. Please come. It's absolutely free. Obviously, Buff State is looked at as a strong team even from last year and this year. What are you looking at in terms of conference play, in terms of teams to beat, et cetera?
Well, everyone looks pretty good. You know, New Paltz has a new coach, so they're going to be different. But you mentioned Friday's game. To me, right now, based on results, Geneseo looks like the team to beat. They just beat William Smith 1-0. They beat Naz 2-0. Their set pieces are very dangerous. They're athletic. They have all their returners back. Geneseo looks really, really strong, and we opened the conference with them, which happens to be a rematch of the final last year.
That's correct. That's right.
So I'm sure they're going to want to come here and get their revenge and kind of make up for that game.
Wow.
So that should be a really good game on Friday.
Well, fantastic. So we already have an early season showdown in the conference with Geneseo. Again, that's Friday here at Koller Field, 3 o'clock to get things going. Nick, thanks very much for being on the show. Best of luck the rest of the way. We'll take another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk cross country. Stay with us.
No matter who you are
or where you're from,
you are welcome here. Tú eres bienvenido.
مرحبا, أهلا وسهلا.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome.
You are welcome here.
Well, we're sending out congratulations to this week's Athlete of the Week, and it's Jamar Rutledge from the football team. The junior business major had 289 all-purpose yards, including 2 touchdowns, 1 on a 96-yard kick return in the Bengals' 53-48 Empire 8 victory over Morrisville back on September 16th. Jamar had 206 yards on 5 kick returns, 3 catches for 64 yards, and added a 19-yard scoring run. So congratulations to this week's Athlete of the Week. It's Jamar Rutledge from Bengals football. And we are inside now, joined by Ray Shadowens and Greg Avila-Shah. Not bad, Greg. He's an outstanding runner, a junior from Lewiston, and Ray is the head coach of the cross-country teams here at Buffalo State. And Ray, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. So first, a little preview of both teams as we move into the season.
Well, it's starting to come together. It's been a few years,
absolutely.
and it's starting to come together. We're off to a terrific start. A few injuries, but any sport, any team deals with that. But both teams look great, even with all the freshmen we do have on both sides. It's a great feeling as a coach to have this many kids excited right now.
Well, I got to tell you, as an administrator and as someone who works around you in the office, et cetera, I mean, there seems to be a good vibe going on in the cross-country teams. And you've already picked up a couple victories, some good showings. I am sure that helps with the good vibe, that it's always great to win.
Absolutely. I mean, winning is fun.
Sure.
I mean, they're putting in a lot of work right now. The volume's really high right now. So to come in and not even be completely fresh and to still get victories and put up good times. The mood in the locker room's pretty good right now.
Absolutely.
We're very realistic. We know, SUNY is the big one. But with such a young team, I think it can get lost when we're, comparing ourselves to teams that are ranked in the top 10 in the nation right now. So we went down to the AMCC preview meet, and we learned we're not that bad.
Yeah.
And so it was a good exposure.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, I know I keep going to it, you know, we had some young faces, so jumping from that 5K to the 8K, it was a great start to get a victory, run
Sure.
good times with the first 8K of the year,
Sure.
especially for the men.
You're the student athlete, Greg. You're in the locker room. Do you feel this good vibe? Is it permeated through the team?
Yeah, I'd say so. Most of the young faces on the team were kind of looking for somebody to step up, and the older people on the team have really started to bring a positive mentality
Very
to
good.
that team. You can see in practice as well. The younger guys on the team are most definitely more focused than they were at the start of camp. Right now, it's anybody's game out there.
Yeah.
All the guys are running their paces, and it's just a very mature team out there.
Has his showing early in the season surprised you, or is he kind of on track where you thought he would be?
I'll be honest, a little bit of both. With the men, we notice it in training. As I mentioned, they jump from a 5K to an 8K, and the common trend is it usually takes a year or two. It is a big jump, and with just the pure volume of training, being able to handle that many miles, it takes time. And some athletes, they go to the 8K and they thrive. Sometimes they go to the 8K and it breaks them.
Yeah.
And it's taken some time, but now coming into his junior year, he is ahead of where I thought he would be. But that speaks to him doing his summer training and staying healthy.
So we're nodding our head over here. You're kind of in
Yeah.
agreement. And summer training was good, grueling, right on.
I'd say it was a little bit grueling at times.
Sure, you're moving up.
Yeah, the mileage this summer was a lot higher than it had been in previous years. I was not as prepared to see, by the end of the summer, oh, you're doing an 86-mile week,
Wow.
For me, that was, doing a little double take, like, oh,
It's
really?
about 85 more than I do. So, yeah, but I mean, that's interesting. I want to get to the training part of it. But we do want to tell our viewers, I mean, you were first out of 38 runners at Bengal, I believe, 29:03, and that's kind of where he should be right now, where you thought he would be?
I think early in the season, that's a great time.
Okay.
I see Greg running in the 27s.
Okay. Wow.
But Greg, pretty early in the meet, kind of put a gap, and so he wasn't, he was running by himself a lot of the meet. So sometimes when you're, someone's not pushing you, you can.
I was about to ask that.
Go into cruise control, but. This week we talked about competing, not so much getting caught up in splits and times, because we got plenty of time to do that. We just talked about going out there and competing, and sometimes the times take care of himself. But and that's exactly what he did.
We've got about a minute left. I'd be remiss not to talk about the women's team, and obviously Ronnie Quadruple, who really is the star, one of the stars. Talk to us about her. She seems to be right on where she normally is, and she just seems to be getting better and better.
Absolutely. To a point, it made me a little nervous that she started so well, because I'm like, oh, maybe she was too fresh. But no, she's just a prime example of living the lifestyle. She takes care of herself, not just during practice, eats right, sleeps right, nutrition, and the sky's the limit for Ronnie.
Right.
So.
Let me a quick question. Training at this early in the season, everything funnels to the SUNYACs. We know that. So, where are these runners right now in terms of mileage during the week? What's a typical week? And again, we have about 30 seconds left.
They're tired right now. We'll put it that way. The volume right now is close to its peak. We had a long run this weekend of 16 miles, I believe. The women are at about 12 miles.
16-mile one practice?
One practice.
Okay.
So the volume is really high, so we'll start leveling off here soon, and the volume will stop, but the intensity of the workouts will start going up. So,
Interesting.
And then that is, of course, to prepare us and get ready for SUNY.
For the big ones. And when you come back, I want to talk more about that. Well, guys, thanks so much for being on the show. Best of luck. Let's keep the good vibes going.
All right, thanks, Tom.
We're going to take a quick break, but before we do, here's Patrick Smith and Bengal Update.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Bengal Update. I'm Patrick Smith with a recap of the news, scores, and a look at upcoming events surrounding Buffalo State athletics. Men's soccer improved to 6-1 on the season, matching their best start in nearly a decade. Buffalo State picked up a 1-0 win over the University of Rochester on Tuesday, September 12th, a 2-1 win over Madai on Saturday, September 16th, and a 2-0 win over Morrisville State on Tuesday, September 19th. Senior Luke Pavone leads the Bengals scoring with 4 goals and 2 assists. Men's soccer opens up SUNY conference play against Geneseo on Friday, September 22nd at 3 p.m. Women's soccer is currently 2-4-1 in the early season with a 2-0 win over Baldwin Wallace to finish up the Bengals Classic on Sunday, September 10th, and a 2-1 win over Deauville on Monday, September 18th. Women's soccer will open up SUNY conference play against Geneseo on Friday, September 22nd at 3 p.m. Women's volleyball currently sits at 4-8 in the early season after completing the 2017 Bengals Classic on Friday, September 15th and Saturday, September 16th. Buffalo State picked up a 3-1 win over University of Rochester on Friday, September 15th to open the tournament. Women's volleyball opens SUNY conference play on Friday, September 22nd as they take on Fredonia at 5 p.m. Football improved to 2-0 on the season by outlasting Morrisville State in a 53-48 win on Saturday, September 16th. Kyle Hoppe went 18 for 30 with 364 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Jamar Rutledge picked up Buffalo State Athlete of the Week and Empire 8 Special Teams Player of the Week honors with 289 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. Buffalo State returns to Koller Field on Saturday, September 23rd at noon as it takes on RPI. The men's cross-country team finished first out of 6 teams in the Experience in Bengal meet. Greg Avila-Shah led the Bengals with a first-place finish in 29 minutes and 3 seconds. On the women's side, Buffalo State finished first out of 4 teams with Jacqueline Tedesco finishing first and leading the Bengals with a time of 25-13. Cross-country returns to the course on Saturday, September 23rd when it competes at the Robert Wesleyan meet. For Bengal Update, I'm Patrick Smith.
This is a college that inspires. Here you'll be engaged, strive for excellence, and prepare for a career. Visit our amazing Elmwood Village campus and apply today. You'll achieve your edge here. This place is Buffalo State College. We're inside Houston Gym, the renovated Houston Gym, and Tyler Reese is with us, a freshman from Alabama, and we're talking Alabama, the state, not New York, correct?
Yes, sir.
She is a freshman coming up. She has family in Western New York, and she loves Buffalo State. We're going to play a little Joes versus Pros. Tyler apparently is the best server on the team. We're going to find out because I'm going to compete against her in serving. And here's how it's going to work, Tyler. We have 2 rounds. The first round, all I have to do is of the 3 balls I get, I have to serve it to the other side.
Okay.
I think I can do that.
Yeah.
You will have to hit those baskets of balls when we put them out. If you hit one, you move on to the championship round, and then it gets a little more difficult. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. All right, we're on round 1. All I have to do is serve over the net in play. Are we ready? And I know everybody over here is rooting for me. Here's ball number 1. How'd it go? I have advanced to round number 1, but I'm going to show you how good I am, Tyler, okay? So we'll do... Oh, Tyler! Where do you want this one, Tyler?
You could do to 1.
To 1. Is that quadrant way in the back or up close?
Way in the back.
Way in the back. Ah, yeah! Tyler, in order to move on to the championship round against this old guy, by the way, I'm 60 years old, it would be horrible for you to lose against me. You have to serve and hit any one of those packages of balls, okay? Anyone moves you on to the championship round. So, ladies, can we hear from you? This is ball number 2. Congratulations, we're going into round number 2, the championship round. Is this exciting?
Yes.
Okay, now what we're going to, Brianna, could you take one of those away? Here's how it's going to work. I've kind of readjusted the rules because I think I'm pretty good at this. So you're going to give a little, I'm going to give a little. I'm going to get 5 balls to try to hit into those balls at least once, okay? You're only going to get 3 to hit once. Is that a deal?
It's a deal.
It's a deal. Let's get it on, kid. Ready? Here we go. Ball number 1 of 3. Yeah. I'm sorry, ball number 2 of 5. Ball number 3. That's a winner. Ball number 4. Tyler, I'm down to my last one. Here we go. Ball number 5. Good luck, Tyler. You have 3 balls to hit it once. If you hit 2, you are the winner.
Okay.
Okay? If you don't hit any, that's one. We got another one here. Your teammate's helping you here.
Okay, Tina. Okay.
A little more sauce. A little more Frank's. That's a winner. That's good. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You have 1 more ball. You have 1. To be the champion and win absolutely nothing, you have to hit that. And the winner and undefeated champion, Tyler Reese from Alabama. Yay! Well, I gave it a good shot and came real close, but in this instance of Joe's versus Pros, I'm a loser again. But we're going to try again in the next segment. But we are now joined by volleyball and Maria DePeters, the head coach of the Bengals. And Maria's bringing along her outstanding freshman, Alyssa Durski from Eden. And first of all, Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
We're off and running early in the season, and yet, you know, I sense this young team making strides already and improving, and I think you might agree with that. How do you get a take on this team?
Yeah, I mean, we are young, so everyone on the court is a freshman and sophomore
Wow.
except for 2.
Wow.
We have a senior middle hitter and then a junior DS, but other than that, everyone else is a freshman and sophomore, so we're still really young. And then our setter, our main setter, Alyssa, and then our other setter, Tyler, they're both freshmen.
Wow.
So when you have freshman setters on the court, you know, learning that offense, they're learning the offense, the hitters are learning how to connect with them, and that's a big part of the chemistry of a team. So, you know, that's still very young.
You know, I asked Nick DeMarsh earlier, does it make for a little more patience from the coach, considering what you have out on the court?
Yeah, I think last year I had a lot more patience because we had 10 freshmen come in. This year, with the freshmen that I did have come in, I think that their level was very high, and with the returning sophomores. So I think we started off with patience, but like Nick said, you know, you can't say the same thing 100 times,
no, absolutely.
And for them to still not get it. So, you know, especially when we go into a conference, which we're going into this weekend, the attitude in the gym is we got to push and we got to go. You know, we're not here to lose.
That's right. And here's someone who does not have a lot of losing in her background. She comes from Eden, and that, as we know, is a hotbed of volleyball in Western New York. And Alyssa, I'm kind of curious. You've been in every match. You've started 10. Did that kind of surprise you that you would be in this position right now as a starter and really a key starter for us?
It was like 50-50. I knew coming in that I would probably play a little bit just because I knew that they lost their setter from last year. So I kind of figured we'd run a 6-2, but like sometimes you have to run a 5-1 just to get more offense because some of the hitters, like Emily, she's really good at running like slides, which is like when she's front row, she runs behind me, and that really pulls the block and it helps.
Very good. I love this volleyball talk. I'm going to learn more and more. I want to get back to that. But this question to both of you: I went down to Ohio for a tournament, and it's very good competition in Ohio. And the results might have not been the way we wanted them or coming out. And yet, there's always a story inside of a story. And you and I were talking in the hallway that was a really good experience. And talk a little bit more about what happened in Ohio in terms of the team.
You know, our first weekend, our first tournament, I think we could have went 3-0 and we didn't. And I think a lot of that was nerves and our first weekend and college matches and just really working out the kinks. And so when I put Ohio back on the map for us, I knew that I wanted to go down there, and if we lost, we're going to lose to good teams because that's how you should lose, to good teams. You shouldn't be losing to mediocre teams or teams that you should be beating. And if we can compete and play against these Midwest volleyball teams that are either nationally ranked or getting votes or playing in the top conferences in the country, then we should be able to come back to New York and play in the SUNY and compete for a spot for playoffs. So every single game that we played, we got better. And we started off right off the bat with Mount Union, and Mount Union is probably going to be in the OAC championship and compete for the NCAAs this year. So they're very strong. But after that, it all just kind of started getting better.
Wow.
And at the end of the tournament, I said, girls, how do you feel? And do you want to take how you guys felt?
How did you feel?
Yeah.
I mean, losing obviously isn't what you want to do, but losing to those teams was fun for us. Like, we played so hard, and I'm so proud of everyone on the team. We all did a good job.
And you played well, too. Yeah, absolutely. This technical thing, we were talking off air, but you're a setter. You're a really good setter. Take us through the mindset of a setter. You know, I watch TV, I watch volleyball, and I'm watching how the sets are made. And I'm always kind of curious as to how does she know or he know to pass to that, you know, person or this and that. What are you thinking of, you know, seconds before or as the play unfolds and you have to set?
Well, every play, your goal is to have a 3-person offense, so we want a good pass so you have you can run all 3 hitters. So every point, there's every person on the court calling the ball because they want to hit it. But you have to know where the block is on the other side, who's going to block the ball. So you have to kind of have, in like your middle hitter, it's all, as you're setting the ball, you're going to see them coming at you. So if you don't see them, you can't set them. So you just really got to think hard about it.
So you're actually looking at the defense prior to setting the ball. But everybody's calling for the ball. We have 3. I didn't know that. So there are 3 options per set, basically. And you are in charge of where it goes due to the defense. She does a good job of that?
Yeah.
Wow, absolutely amazing. I want to learn more about that next time on the show. You start SUNY play, right? This weekend. A little bit about the conference. Who are the teams to beat in 30 seconds?
This is going to be an interesting year because there's a lot of turnover in the coaching staff, and a lot of the teams that have been doing super well the past couple years have lost a lot of returners. But Brockport's still going to be the big team to beat. And then I think that Oneonta and New Paltz and Fredonia are going to be, and Geneseo are going to be up there as well.
Fantastic. Maria, Alyssa, thanks so much for being on the show. Best of the luck the rest of the way. We'll have you back on again. Thanks to everybody here in Creative Media Services. We'll see you again in 2 weeks for more Bengal Magazine.